I don't know. They could walk him on everything. They've reached a verdict, and they might be hung up on a couple others. I would find him not guilty of everything.
Oh man, tomorrow is going to be the day for Diddy. Tomorrow is going to be the biggest decision in his life. Pause. No Diddy. No pun intended. This attorney right here, or I believe he's an ex-attorney, he is about to actually debunk all the stories that's going out right now. Many people don't know what's going to happen. A lot of people are assuming, and a lot of people, or should I say, the majority of people are clickbaiting. They know that this news right here is trending, and everyone is going to click on the videos. So they're saying whatever it is that feeds your narrative. Remember, you're the one who's going down the rabbit hole that you're going through. So you're always going to go and lean towards your mindset. If you think he's a bad guy, you're going to only look at videos that fit that narrative. Make sense now? Sit back and react with your boy. Don't forget, make sure you go ahead and follow Lying on Legal. Make sure you go to his channel. Let him know I sent you. In the meantime, let me stop wasting your time. Now let's roll that clip, baby.
Okay, you've just heard. Today there appeared to be a sort of a verdict, but not really. A partial verdict. What does this mean? And what is this Allen charge? Here's the latest. We're going to pick up tomorrow regarding Diddy. Nobody knows for sure. Yeah, the judge sent the case, the jury back for this thing called an Allen, or it's also called a shotgun charge. And what that means is, come on, go back there and think about it.
What?
Don't say you can't come up with a verdict. Don't say you've exhausted everything, because you haven't. Go back and do your best.
I don't like that. It sounds like you're telling them, change your mind about what you just said and do otherwise, or else. That's what it sounds like to me. Listen, I'm no attorney, but I have common sense.
And that's great for prosecution, but not for defendants, because defendants want there to be a hung jury. It's like once they say we can't make up our mind, that's it. Defense wants to say that's it. Call it a shot. We'll leave. End of discussion. And it's this kind of a persuasive. I don't really know. It's like, come on, you don't mean it. Go back. Think about it. You can do it. Now the jury is going to decide the following. Let me break this down. As to count one, racketeering, apparently there is no verdict on that one. I mean, that means that's going to be hung or not guilty. You can throw that one away. And that was the most serious. That was beyond serious. That was I'm trying to hide these.
I think they got to get rid of that RICO, and then he'd be all right.
My glasses. Sorry about that, because I've got my iPad here. The first question is, how do you find the defendant not guilty or guilty as to count one, racketeering conspiracy? If and only if you find the defendant guilty of count one, which types of racketeering acts do you unanimously find were involved in the offense? The first, acts involving kidnapping. Proved or not proved? Kidnapping?
I would
acts
say not
involving
proved.
Arson. Proved or unproved? This might be an old jury form. I'm looking at that. Acts involving bribery. Acts involving witness tampering.
I guess
acts involving forced labor.
Guilty,
acts involving sex trafficking. Acts involving transportation for purposes of prostitution. Acts
guilty.
Involving drug distribution. If this is off the table because of either a full-blown acquittal or just if they're just hung on that, wow. That means they didn't find at least two predicate acts, two of these. So we'll see.
But they just need
Next,
two, and he's done.
Count two, sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura, which is the most ridiculous. Sex trafficking of her?
That was his girl.
Guilty or not guilty? And three, Mann Act transportation. Cassie Ventura. Did they transport Cassie Ventura for prostitution? She was a prostitute? This is still the most unbelievably stupid case.
Definitely is. You got a point. I feel like a lot of the narrative was just forced onto the jury, and they have to make a decision based on where the judge is leaning. I don't know. Seems like that liquor company, they ain't nothing to be played with.
Every time you hear, I guess, I guess Ike Turner could have been charged with what? Violation of the Mann Act because he sex trafficked Tina Turner. I mean, I just this is not it. So anyway, you're hearing this mindlessness. Unless and until you hear the verdict, I don't know what they say. They're unable to achieve a verdict. Meaning, or they have reached a verdict. Excuse me. It might be an acquittal. Remember, unanimous either way. So I can sit here and go through all the permutations. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't want to bore you with this. But the bottom line is this case stinks. And it will go down in history as being a stinker. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I wanted to tell you, first of all, thank you for following us and providing this information. Unless you are there in the courtroom, unless you get to see how people act, unless you get the feel for what is going on, you can't make any decisions or statements regarding this. You can't. I am telling you, and you've heard my other videos as to why I don't think it's trafficking and the like. And it's not. And it sure as hell isn't racketeering. This is the biggest overreach. So I still think if the jury somehow comes up with are they saying, by the way, that Kathy Ventura was a prostitute? That she was prostituted?
Obviously, that's what
are they saying that he? I mean, think about this one. Are they going to say if they find him guilty that she was a prostitute, that he transported her to be what, farmed out as a prostitute? Does she know that? How do you like that, Cassie? It's one thing to be a part of a freak off, but when you're the main attraction and you're the golden calf.
If you ask me and I was her husband, listen, divorce papers would have been ASAP right in front of her. Listen, I can't deal with this no more. Just go be with Diddy at this point. You still got feelings for the man. That's being sold. And as far as the other aspects, this case is a dog. So we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. You don't know what, we never know what jurors think. We never know what they think behind the doors. Who's the leader? Who kind of is the, in the old days, we used to guess who the foreman was. You can always tell. Sometimes, like in New York State, the first juror number one is the foreman, and that kind of thing. The foreman kind of like runs the show. You don't know about the effect of 4th of July coming up. Don't think that doesn't play a role in this. When you were at the end of you have been through this horror show. By the way, they're also they got to get to write the book because they're already talking to their agents. They're talking to people who can book them because afterwards they can say whatever they want. Not before, but after the verdict, they're going to be on every show. They're going to be they're going to be booked on TMZ, and they're going to be getting a big dollar for this. Can you imagine if I was a juror? Oh, for God's sakes. I'd clean up because I know what to say. Some people might not be able to. So as they should.
They might not also be able to explain the background and the tension and who was good and who wasn't. And a lot of this is just nonsense because it's like watching cattle graze around in a field and describing it. Well, that one's moving over there. You don't know why. You're just describing things that are happening without Let's wait to the verdict. I mean, we can play this all day long. My opinion means nothing. My opinion means absolutely nothing. Maybe because I'm a lawyer. Maybe because I believe in the Constitution. I don't know. Would you ever think you would want me, Diddy would want me as a juror? I would be the perfect juror for Diddy. Terrible for the prosecution. Terrible. In other cases, I hate to say it, please don't give me a case involving a terrible person. Don't give me a terrible person with a weak case. Because if there was something involving a child and I had to find somebody not guilty, I don't know what I would do. I mean, it would be, I don't know if I could live with myself. But if I took my oath as a juror, and by the way, do you think people really, honest to God, want to be known as the guy who walked, let's say, Mengele? Come on. A lot of this is wonderful and it's terrific, and we pretend that there's a criminal justice system, but it is so fraught with problems you can't even believe it. In any event, so that's it. We'll pick up tomorrow. You're gonna be talking about Allen charges and the like. By the way, my wife is the most brilliant. She's been on the Nancy Grace Conspiratorium Hour, and she is so good, so smart. It's not even fun. I mean, it's sickeningly obvious how smart she is. So we'll be back with that. Again, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to lie to you. I never lie to you. I always tell you the truth. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I don't know what they've reached a verdict. The verdict could be an acquittal.
I really think, well, let's say this, right? They're not going to go through that drastic measures for an acquittal. And New York is a little bit shady. So I at least see him doing a little bit of time or a hung jury, but not an acquittal. They're not going to give him that acquittal that easy. Insane. No way in the world. But like he said, we don't know. Anything can happen during deliberations. So let's see. Tomorrow will be the final answer.
I don't know. They could walk him on everything. They've reached a verdict. And they might be hung up on a couple others. I would find him not guilty of everything. Everything. Because, hey, Cassie, in order for me to find you guilty of sex trafficking, I've got to find that first of all, you're a prostitute for purposes of the Mann Act. And he trafficked in you? How much did you make in this? $28-30 million?
I wonder why the defense never brought that up.
This is sex trafficking? You made out like a bandit. Now, granted, she had UTIs and all kinds of horrific genital maladies. But that's what happens when you turn yourself inside out like that. I understand it. But you were there the whole time. Thanks. And she could have left.
Yep.
If you can't, and I know you're going to say, but that was a psychological anchor. Okay, could be. But that's a lot different than somebody who's had their passport taken away and they're chained up in some basement in Guadalajara. Okay?
Make sure, like I said, go to his channel, spread some love. So in the meantime, don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. I don't really know, man. This is a tricky situation right here. All I'm saying is that Diddy better find God. He need to find God at this point. He need to just retire quietly and just go on the win. And he need to pull what Russell Simmons did. Just get out the way. You had your fun. You had your time. Whatever money you have right now, just go enjoy it. Enjoy it. Why would you want to work like the way you're working? Enjoy life, my boy. If you are seeing this or if you do see this, enjoy your life, man. On that note, see you in the next one.